Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast. Joey Janela always goes in.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick butt show called Steve and Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. So I've got confirmation here, speaking of the Twitch, that Kaufman, the intern, is going to be able to handle next week's NXT recap, which is great. That means I'll get to sleep in. Do you know why, Larson?
Yeah, you told me, but I'll let you tell the people.
All right. So what is it called? The Snyder Cut of the Justice League is dropping.
I think it's called Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think that's the official name of it.
There you go. Is coming out on HBO Max next week. Wednesday night Pacific, really early in the morning, Thursday morning. From what I understand,
or is it 9 p.m. our time?
No, from what I understand, I said I saw that it was going to be 3 Eastern, midnight Pacific. That's what I saw.
Interesting.
Assuming that stays in place, and assuming HBO Max doesn't crash. I will be doing
accidentally leak it early again.
That's a possibility as well. Yeah, I mean, we might be watching Tom and Jerry. I am going to be doing a live watch along. So if anybody wants to join me, I'll be doing it right here at the twitch.tv/.
You know, if it started at 9 Pacific, I might be down, but midnight.
It's a bit much. It's a little rough. I'm not doing this lightly. You know, I don't like waking up and people knowing stuff. So
it's 4 hours long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really long. I'm getting to bed. I mean, that's 4 hours estimated. It might be 4 in a little bit. You know, it could be 3 in a lot, but it might be 4 and a little bit more. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. If anyone wants to join me, because I'm a big old nerd and I like that stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing that shift, which means next week's NXT review is going to be sans Steve. We're going to see if Kaufman can do a decent LA Knight impression.
Oh, that's going to be the real test.
Exactly,
really test his mettle.
Jorge D says it has a 10-minute intermission. That might be when I go to sleep then. We'll see.
All right. You just kind of nod off.
Bottom Class says, so is this for a punishment? Yeah, right? Seems like it, huh?
Yeah, I don't know why you're doing this to yourself.
Speaking of which, when are you doing... I'm anxious to see the movie. When are you doing your punishments?
Yeah. Let's look at the calendar here real quick. So this weekend we got Sacrifice. The weekend after that, there's what's it called? Fastlane. Weekend after that, there's nothing, and the weekend after that, there's nothing.
Oh, there you go then.
So one of those two.
All right.
But then the weekend after that's WrestleMania week, and that's gonna be a crazy busy week.
Yeah. Well, you can't do it then.
Because we might be, because if they do the 2-night takeover, then the 7th and 8th, we'll probably stream those.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be all streaming.
Mania, 10th and 11th, we'll stream those.
Dr. Burgerman asks, Steve, will the VOD be saved? Yeah, because I'm not showing the actual thing. That would probably get us completely kicked off Twitch.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it should be fun. Or just, I don't know. It's going to be, I guess, as fun as the movie is. But even if the movie's crap, we can sit there and make fun of it. So it's great.
Or if it's not good and it's boring, just...
Yeah, you can watch me. Yeah, you can watch me fall asleep.
Well, isn't that a term of service violation?
Yeah, we'll get our Twitch deleted for that too. But I can't do anything about that if I fall asleep.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
I'm not trying to push off talking about AEW because it's a fine show. Yeah, so I get the idea.
Four Horsemen, it's great.
I get the idea of not having people signing up, like logging on to Twitch and just sleeping. I get that. There's no engagement there. But what if you're doing like 14 hours and you're playing something and you just nod off? Are they gonna nail you for that?
No, I would imagine, like anything, it's probably just a general policy where it's like somebody was probably taking advantage and just trying to score subs. And so they're like, I'm going to just point a camera at my bed and sleep. As opposed to if something happens to you accidentally, like if somebody comes in,
someone shoots a dart at you and you fall asleep. I mean,
well, I was going to say if somebody comes in and shoots you, like that's probably like violence like that's probably against terms of service, but it's like, it's not my fault. Some dude just rolled up in here and shot me.
Yeah.
I doubt Twitch it's probably a special circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. Fast Eddie said it was because something happened and then people started sleeping on stream, then left, right, and center. So yeah. There you go. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, Hip Hop Hippo says there's a woman streamer that had like 20,000 people watching her sleep. It's super weird. That's weird. Maybe they still do it. I don't know. Maybe it's not part of terms of service anymore. Yeah, I don't want to sleep on stream.
No,
that's not something I'm endeavoring to do. I usually don't. I don't. Anyways, there's a new 4 Horsemen, Larson, here on AEW Dynamite tonight.
Well, they can't be 4 Horsemen
pretty exciting
because there's
stuff.
5 of them.
Well, Tully wrestles. There's 6 of them.
All right, 6.
But I think like the Horsemen were kind of loose with like their numbers, weren't they? I mean, I know there was never like, but Wardlow is he's a bodyguard. He has wrestled.
I will say this though, of all the beatdowns and stuff, I feel like Wardlow was more involved in that aspect of things tonight than he's maybe ever been before.
This was a new Wardlow. It was a scarier Wardlow. It was like a vicious Wardlow.
It was. So I mean, is it 4 Horsemen featuring Wardlow? What's it going to be?
Special guest star Wardlow?
Yes.
And also starring Tully.
With Tully, especially.
With Tully.
Featuring Wardlow with Tully Blanchard.
With Tully Blanchard. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, whatever they're going to be called. I did not see this coming tonight, and that was cool. I thought they had set it up completely like Jericho, just bathed in white clothing, and all the other guys in like 80%, 90% black clothing.
Well, apparently Hager didn't read the full memo because he had some teal.
They were like, dude, we said all black. And he was like
mostly, right?
It's mostly black.
But then there's
got a little bit of blue in there.
There's teal there.
Yeah, a little bit of teal. And so they were like, good enough. Well, can you put on some sunglasses at least? Because that's a bad guy thing. So yeah, the War Council happened tonight. Big swerve. They come out there. Jericho's talking about potentially adding a new member, and MJF is like, whoa, hold on a second, buddy. We might have to get rid of a member. Sammy Guevara comes down. Jericho doesn't want to hear what he says, but Sammy Guevara's like, whoa, dude, come on. We've been through a lot. Listen to what I have to say. Watch the Tron. So all eyes go to the Tron. Sammy Guevara had set up a hidden camera there, and that hidden camera caught MJF getting the troops together, basically, the other members of the Inner Circle, and he said, tonight's the night. We're putting Chris Jericho out to pasture, and or we're going to give him a dirt nap or something. He alluded to murdering him, I think. And so at that point, MJF says, I hate for you to have heard this way, Jericho. And so the other members of the Inner Circle sort of start coming at, very slowly, dramatically, Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. And so they're ready to load up. And then Jericho says, And so the other members of the Inner Circle, they all turn on MJF, and he cowers in the corner and says, no, please don't do it. And he says, I really swear I wasn't trying to take over the Inner Circle, Jericho. I was making my own Inner Circle. Lights go down.
Mm-hmm.
Lights go up. And you've got FTR, Sean Spears, Tully Blanchard, and Vicious Wardlow, and the chase is on, so to speak, I guess.
Yes.
It's just a beatdown happens where they beat the crap out of, they handcuff LAX. They pile drive the crap out of those guys.
They beat the hell out of Jericho.
They beat the living crap out of Jericho.
Beat the hell out of Jericho.
Wardlow gave him a devastating... what was the movie did in the ring? Was it a powerbomb in the ring? And then it was a powerbomb off the stage.
He powerbomb off the stage. He does. I think.
Oh, was it like a knee strike? It was like
he puts the person on like the second rope and then brings him up down to his knee, like a knee strike that way. Yeah. Yeah. Jericho got powerbombed off the stage. This new faction, unnamed faction, stands, over over Jericho. It's like all
he's bleeding
laid out
from the head.
Bleeding. on this table. And I was expecting them to throw up the Horsemen sign. Didn't happen.
I know. Just do it. Just do it.
No, there's 6 of them. They can't. Well, they could do this.
Yeah. Oh, it's a new thing. It's the 6 Horsemen.
The 6-pack. Call it the 6-pack.
The 6-pack. There you go. And then they're going to have the 6-pack challenge.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope they have a name.
Yeah.
They need a name of some sort.
They do.
I mean, yeah, the 4 Horsemen, it's biblical. You know, you can't have 6. 6 Horsemen's that's a bad name. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
There were 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Do you know what they were?
Correct.
Was
famine,
it Pestilence one?
Pestilence, famine.
COVID.
It's been a while since I've read Revelations.
Yeah. War. There you go. War.
Yeah, that's right. War.
And
War.
Charlotte. No. Death. Of course, death.
That seemed kind of obvious. I didn't know.
The last, the big one. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
So there's Mr. Horse from Ren and Stimpy. There's Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed, yes. Seabiscuit.
And Warhorse from wrestling. Anyway, so yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It was unexpected. MJF is the flair of the group, I suppose.
I did like during the beatdown, he just sat on the top turnbuckle. It didn't really emote. He just sat there very coldly and took it all in. And I thought that was pretty effective. You know, he wasn't like he was enthusiastic about it. Nothing. He just sat there.
It was very Michael Corleone, if you will. I mean, besides the one point where he punched Jericho, Wardlow held him up. Other than that, yeah, you're right. It was great. They got some great close-ups on him. He's got a great camera face. MJF was really great in this. Yeah. And he let everybody else, especially Wardlow, who obviously there's a change there. Maybe he's like, man, finally, I'm not just a hired hand. I'm employed. He's like,
JR said at least twice, Wardlow, he's a future AEW world champion, like during the beatdown.
Or he just like, hey, one of them big guys. I like the big men. Let's see here really quick, just before we start this recap here, because I thought the rest of the episode was great. We can just go through the thing.
Yeah.
Fatal Destiny asks really quick, because I want to get this out of the way, make sure we answer it. What mics do we use? These are Rode NT1s, I think, is what they are.
Yeah. Before we get into the breakdown segment by segment, let's discuss how AEW addressed the non-explosion at the end of Revolution. So coming out of Revolution, the ring explosion under the ring where it was supposed to happen didn't happen. Fightful Select has some details about the apparently dud explosive that they had. So if you're not subscribed to Fightful Select, go do so. So anyways, they carried on for the most part with the idea. Well, kind of. They kind of towed the line between carrying on with what Mox/Tony Khan said day of the show. Kenny and Don kind of addressed the fact that things didn't go as planned, but then said in the end it was just as good as it did.
Yeah, well, I mean, they actually pushed on it and said we're not going to confirm or deny whether it was us that did it, but this was a bigger win than had it gone off properly.
Yeah, humiliation and whatnot in their eyes is a worse fate than being blown up. Eddie did a great job of explaining his reaction, essentially passing out. And he said, I had a flashback to a time when he was in jail, I think, or the court, waiting for his case in court, and the guards were coming by, and they were saying, "Oh, we're going to send you to Rikers. We're going to send you to Sing Sing." And he says that anxiety, that dread I felt, it brought me back to that day, and he just passed out.
Yeah. They did look. It's AEW. They know how to kayfabe things pretty well. They address them. They don't just act like they didn't happen. They don't ignore them. They address them and they move on. They're the talent there is clever enough to be able to figure it out. They've got, everybody they have. They have so many great talkers there that are really clever people. So yeah, they did that. And Kenny Omega had one of the funniest lines I've ever heard in wrestling when he was talking about the scene when Eddie covered Mox and he was mocking it and recreating it, saying, "Oh, quick, Don, 69 me, save me," because he talked about Eddie dry humping Mox, to cover him, to shield him from the explosion.
Yeah,
that line was I was cracking up. Come on, Don, 69 me, save me,
save me. Oh,
that was funny. That was really funny stuff. So yeah, they did a good job healing it up for all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Other things
and they also said the lack of bomb was good for them because it deprived the fans of what they wanted to see.
And Tony Khan of making another memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that stood out big time for me was, of course, the 6-woman tag match. That was just a complete mess from the moment Maki Ito started singing her song and the brawl breaks out and she doesn't break, all the way to the announcement that next week we're going to get in the main event Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, which would seem to be like a blow-off of sorts. Lights out, unsanctioned.
Can't wait.
That's going to be fantastic. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be good. That's going to be
good
great
stuff.
All right, let's break it down.
Damn.
Show kicked off with Rey Fenix versus Matt Jackson. Of course, Death Triangle members Fenix and Pac have a tag title bout against the Young Bucks at some point. This is all build up to that. Good match. Excuse me. Matt Jackson working over Fenix's back extensively throughout this bout. And in the end, there's this great bit where they're both looking towards the end, where they're both looking for super kicks, and they super kick each other's shins.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah,
they
this was
with forearms.
This was just tons of fun. At one point, Fenix sort of towards the finish there, Fenix goes for a drop kick. Matt moves and Fenix hits Nick, who's sort of hovering ringside. Pac makes a move on Nick because he came out obviously with Fenix. Matt then goes to the outside, super kicks Pac, gets back in. They trade super kicks and jumping kicks with Fenix, and both men end up collapsing from that. But in the end, Fenix got a three count with his driver move.
Yeah, he reversed the tombstone into that.
Yeah,
pretty great. After that,
great.
We have Mox and Eddie Kingston sitting around the fire pit drinking some whiskey or something. And Eddie says, "Here it is, the explanation everybody wants to know about." He says, "When I went to the ring and covered up my friend, and I thought there was going to be explosions and fireworks and all that, he had a flashback to when he had this anxiety the last time he had this kind of panic where he couldn't breathe, and that's when he was sitting in a jail cell getting ready for court, and the guards were telling him they were taking him to Rikers, they were taking him to Sing Sing, and everything went black." He says, "Go ahead and call me a coward, call me less of a man. I'm not talking to you. I'm not speaking of you. I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking of those who understand where I'm coming from." And then he puts his hand over the fire and says, "Kenny, what do you think this is a video game? Look at this heat. That's what I felt in that ring. Look at these hands. I didn't scar them up playing video games. You think you're a joker? You think you're funny?" And Mox is like, "No, I actually think that Kenny I don't think he was joking. I think he was honestly trying to blow me up." And Eddie's like, "What? He thinks he's the Joker?" Turns to Mox and says, "You're Batman, but he thinks he's the Joker?" And Mox says, "Oh, Batman, I actually kind of like that." And then Eddie was like, "No way. And then so Mox says, "I don't know who paid for the bomb." Eddie suggested it was Impact. And Mox just says, "Oh, that makes sense.
That sounds right."
That sounds right.
Was when you got that box with the bomb in it, was there a Acme logo on it?
Since I made more explosive,
that's such an old reference.
I know. So I made more explosive volcanoes in 4th grade science class. What the hell was that? It says Mox says I had a explosive barbed wire death match on pay-per-view, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Then he puts over the T-shirt.
Oh, T-shirt's great.
Says I didn't win. Kenny was a better man that night, but I got a drinking buddy back. He says, "Eddie, I knew that wasn't Eddie out there." Eddie's like, "Yeah, that world title do strange things to a man." And Mox is like, "Well, I wish you could have got out there sooner." And Eddie's like, he's kind of poking fun at Eddie. He's like, "Oh, you got to put your Timbs on and do your eyebrows done." And Eddie's like, "Well, no, I got to milk it, essentially." So they're kind of
got to keep it 1998.
Yeah, they're kind of bickering back and forth. It's pretty great. And then Mox says, "Eddie, I'm happy you didn't get blown up, but I wanted to see a bomb go off." And then Mox ends by telling Kenny and the Good Brothers, if they're going to flash a weapon, you better use it.
Yeah. Ooh. So after that, we had Cody versus Seth Gargis.
It's not very often that Dynamite or AEW ever has a legit squash match.
I literally I was like, okay, cool. Before the bell rang, I just went to go I feel like halfway. I just got some water. I came back and Shivani was already in the ring with a microphone. What happened here?
It was like 2 moves, power slam, figure 4. And this Gargis guy taps out.
All right.
That was it. So Shivani hits the ring to interview Cody, wants to know about the shoulder. And before he can really get into it, Penta interrupts from the Spanish announce table, tells Cody to shut up.
This was awesome. So
awesome. Go ahead.
He's got an interpreter with him, and he talks
to
the interpreter.
What's his name? Alex?
Yeah. Where is he on something more prominently, like Dark or something more prominently? Because I've seen him before on Dynamite.
I think he's part of the Spanish announce team.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay,
I think.
So, anyways, Penta talks to him through the Alex, and he says he's 1,000 times better than you. If you're the Prince of Pro Wrestling, I am the Lord of Lucha Libre. Crowd starts breaking. And by the way, Penta's wearing like a really great suit too.
Yeah.
Penta says for a moment, let me speak your language, American Nightmare. Are you serious? At Revolution, you lost. And had it been just you and me in that ring, you would have lost some more than just the match. You know why? And then the interpreter says, Penta says he would have hurt your arm so bad you wouldn't be able to pick up your newborn baby girl. Well, of course, Cody, super dad now, goes after Penta. They brawl. This is the feud that I'm going to be really big into, man, because I love Penta and I love making fun of Cody. And Cody's a great storyteller and Penta's great in the ring. I'm all in on this, man. I love it.
Same. It'll be great. That's happening next week, too. After that, we get Orange and Chuck Taylor in Arcade. Chuck says, this has been going on too long. Miro and Kip, they sidelined Trent. They made him a butler, put him through a window. He says, I want one more match, though. And if they lose, hey, Miro, I'll be your butler. I'll be your butler forever. And he says, but this guy, Orange, suggested surrounding the ring with arcade cabinets and then putting Miro and Kip's heads through them. And Orange turns towards camera because he's playing some sort of driving game, or he's slouched in one. Orange adds, yes, and then we'll break them. Them being Miro and Kip.
I didn't see any of that part. I must have walked to do the rest of my water.
Oh, maybe.
All right. So after that, we had, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a Sting interview next, right?
Correct.
All right. So Sting is on the mic with Tony Schiavone, and he says Darby Allin is such a dangerous man. He takes big risks, which makes him so dangerous. And you combine that with the streets, and we get ourselves a win. And it's sort of like old school. Sting's all in the, doing his old school Sting stuff. So then as he's like talking some more, Archer interrupts and he's like, you never give us time, so I'm just going to take it. He said, I never needed a ladder to be the face of the revolution. And if things don't change around here, I'm going to take much more than just time. And then he sort of mockingly apologizes for interrupting because Tony's like, hey, this is supposed to be a Sting interview. Come on, it's weekly. And then Archer just sort of leaves and Jake Roberts says, goodbye, Stinger. And Sting's like, all right, Tony, I'll catch you next time then.
Yeah, just walks down the tunnel, the same tunnel that Lance and Jake went down.
Right. So one of you runs after them. Hey, guys. That was rude.
After that, we had a QT Marshall interview. He's asked, what happened at Revolution? He just pretty much said, my emotions got the best of me. Deal with that in the future. Yeah. Tonight, it's about Lee Johnson. He's got a match next against Ethan Page. And that match, in fact, was next. It almost sounded like if you closed your eyes, you weren't at the wrestling matches.
Yeah, dude.
You're at a basketball game because there was some issue with TNT where there was audio from some basketball game. I'm not sure what it was. That was over the AEW audio during this match.
No clue how this. I mean, I'm sure maybe Hilton would know, having been in a production truck before for basketball games. It's possible he might know. I don't know, but it was pretty funny. I felt kind of bad because Ethan Page's first match, he was working heel, so evidently he might be a bad guy here. He had a brief promo beforehand. He says
that was very difficult to hear because all I heard was basketball noises.
Well, and plus his audio was also really low. I mean, he basically just said it was the standard heel thing. He said, QT Marshall's taking up 33% of my. I thought he was doing Steiner math. He said,
I thought so too.
QT Marshall's taking up 33 1/3% of my spotlight. So sorry, Lee. Tonight you're going to deal with a very aggravated Ethan Page. So Page starts strong, and he continues strong. He starts working Lee's knee. Lee's knee sort of gives out. He goes to the outside and looks for some sort of help, some words, some
Lee
advice.
from QT, yeah.
From QT, something. And QT just gives him a death stare. He's like, doesn't even say no. He just looks at him like, what do you want from me? Mm-hmm. And so Ethan hints his Razor's Edge for 3. Is it called the Ethan's Edge or the Ego's Edge?
Ego's Edge.
Ego's Edge. Okay. He hits that for 3. It's great. It's like Razor's Edge, but he just throws a guy up.
It's sort of like Bad Luck Fale's Bad Luck Fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same kind of deal, because that's what Fale does. He throws him.
And then after the match, he gets the 3, and then he looks at him, and he's like, I'm just going to stomp him now. So he starts stomping him, and then QT's like... And then my humps hits the audio, and what's his face? Dustin comes running out.
Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, he comes running out, and QT's like, what do you want from me? You got this guy here, that guy there. What do you want from me?
He just walks off. Off.
Saunters away.
After that, we flash back to earlier in the day. Alex Marvez, looking to interview Hangman Adam Page. He rolls in a riding mower.
This was great.
So he's asked, what did you use Matt Hardy? Or he said, I assume this what you use Matt Hardy's money for. And Page listed off a variety of things he did. He bought some whiskey, a new saddle, some Dwight Yoakam albums, gave a bunch away, and he got this rider mower. Dark Order comes up. They hitch a ride with him. Everybody except Allin Angels, and they drive off.
Poor Allin Angels. They're going to get some ice cream. After that, let's see here.
Shivani was supposed to interview Christian Cage.
Supposed to be a Christian interview, but instead, Kenny and the Good Brothers and the Invisible Hand come out. And Callis speaks. He says, you're not going to be hearing from Christian. Everything went to plan at Revolution. And Kenny says, well, not everything. And they sort of laugh about it. Callis says, we've been taking the blame for what happened at the finale of Revolution. And I won't confirm or deny if we had anything to do with that. But we like taking away big moments from Tony Khan. Mox and Kingston end up looking like idiots. He references like in his MBA, you look for win-win situations. And he's like, it would have been a win had we blown them up. We wouldn't have to deal with Mox anymore. But when it didn't blow up, it was a bigger win because him and Eddie Kingston looked like idiots and the fans didn't get their big explosion. So it was a bigger win than had the ring exploded. And Kenny gets on the mic and he says, so Eddie, he says, what a cherry on the Sunday for you, Eddie. To cover up Mox and dry humping him while 4 sparklers erupt from the corner posts. That's a memory we'll never forget. So Eddie comes out and Callis says, it's okay, guys. I know this guy. He says, Eddie, I had you working for me in Impact because I saw the talent. I saw the toughness. That's the star maker in that face. You had it all. So why did I have to fire you? Because you did the same thing you've done your whole life. When you're this close to success, you somehow find a way to screw it up, just like you did at Revolution when you laid there and we laughed and laughed at you. He says, you're a little outgunned, kid, because we have history, I'm going to give you a chance with what's left of your pride. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to get out of here before you get your ass kicked. Then they run the countdown, the 10-second countdown on the clock. And Kenny starts mocking it, saying, oh, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. 69 me, Don. Save me. He goes to Eddie, he says, you look like a joke out there. And right now you're in here with 4 guys who kick your ass. What do you hope to accomplish, Eddie? Oh, you want to hit me? I tell you what, 1 free shot. We'll see what happens. It keeps going on and going on and going on. Eddie pops him, lays out Kenny. Good Brothers attack. Mox comes out, makes a save. And then Christian sort of saunters out. His music hits. JR doesn't know who he is, but it's Christian. He comes out. Kenny offers him his hand. Christian tries for a kill switch instead. Callis pulls Kenny out of the line of danger there. And then Christian picks up and he saunters with the world title a little bit. So we still don't get to. Is he like at a 90-day no talk clause or something?
I don't know because he talked. He was on Renee Paquette's podcast, like the
talk
day after Revolution. I think they recorded it. So I don't know.
Yeah. So it looks like, I don't know, maybe that's a pretty big first step for Christian Cage, for at least for him to get hands on the title.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, that's the way WWE used to do. They debut somebody in a main event spot, and then they sort of fall down and settle to where they're going to be.
And then they build them back up if they so choose.
Or
After
they
that, 6-woman tag team match: Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and Maki Ito versus Thunder Rosa, Ryu Mizunami, and Hikaru Shida. So while Maki Ito's doing her song during her entrance, faces attack, and while there's a huge brawl going on all around ringside, she just keeps singing. It was great.
It was awesome. It was so
awesome.
hilarious.
Eventually, Shida runs up to the stage, goes up to Maki Ito. Maki Ito pops her with the mic a couple times. Match begins. Shida and Maki Ito are the first two in. Towards the end, Shida sets up Britt in the corner and then suplexes Mizunami into her. And then Maki Ito headbutts Shida. She gets dropped by Rio. Nyla looks for a beast bomb on Mizunami. Thunder Rosa breaks it up with a drop kick. She goes after Britt, shoves her to the floor, goes up top, hits a tornado on everybody. Rosa later on puts Maki Ito in the ring. She's running the ropes. Vicky grabs Thunder Rosa's ankle. Maki Ito hits a tornado DDT on Thunder Rosa, gets a 2. So then Vicky gets up on the apron to distract the ref. Rebel gets on the apron as well with a crutch, tries to hit Thunder Rosa with it. Thunder Rosa blocks, hits Maki Ito with her finish to get the win. And then afterwards, after the match, Britt lays out Thunder Rosa with the crutch and then puts lockjaw on her.
Yeah. Yeah. I like when Maki Ito did the middle fingers, which we've seen on, the Inner Circle obviously does that a lot. But Shida, it looked like Shida freaked out about possible standards and practices because she grabbed them really quick. I mean, she did some joint stuff, but still, it's like the look on her face was like, you can't do that here. Anyway, so backstage in the lounge, Matt Hardy and Private Party are hanging out. Matt says, man, we need to bring more money in. What Hangman did was stole my money. It should be criminal. He says, but I have more than enough money to sustain our business through April 1st. I've signed a new group. And they're like, what? You signed a bunch more people? And he's like, yes, but I've made them so much money that they won't even notice my fee. And so it's the Butcher and the Blade and Bunny. And he says, the 4 of you are going to, and he's eating his grapes the whole time. Oh, shit, sorry. He's eating his grapes the whole time. Which, like, he's eating his grapes, and he's got such on Being the Elite, they showed, like, Private Party going to his hotel room, and he opens the door. He's got just that grumpy look on his face, eating grapes. It's such a great bit of business.
That's fun.
So yeah, he says, the 4 of you are going to destroy someone this coming, what is it, Monday on Elevation?
Yeah.
When is it? Is it Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
Monday, yeah.
He says, and then the 5 of us are going to destroy the Dark Order for what they've done to me.
After that TNT Championship bout, Scorpio Sky, the face of the Revolution, taking on Darby Allin. I actually fairly enjoyed the storytelling going on in this match because early on, Darby Allin was just frustrating Scorpio Sky basically to no end. And Scorpio Sky, I thought, did a good job of portraying that. Eventually, though, Darby, there's this great back and forth between the two of them where they're trying to get the upper hand on each other, like out of the ring, in the ring. And Darby does that bit where he jumps off the apron and kind of flips over his opponent's back and lands on his feet. When he does that, he twists his ankle. And Scorpio takes advantage. But one thing he doesn't really do throughout the match is work that leg.
Yeah, he doesn't take advantage of it.
He doesn't take advantage of that. So later on, Scorpio takes a swing. Darby ducks, hits the stunner. That gets him a 2 count. Code red, another 2. Sky runs into a couple corner boots from Darby. He responds with a boot of his own. Scorpio hits a couple of German suplexes. Darby tries to escape the third. Instead, Scorpio Sky hits a German suplex on Darby into the corner. Scorpio Sky goes for a slingshot cutter. Darby instead pushes him to the floor. This bit was great. So then Darby goes for a suicide dive. And then Scorpio Sky counters with a cutter to the floor.
Yeah,
puts
that was
Darby
cool.
back in the ring. Darby kicks out. Scorpio Sky hits a Fisherman Buster. Gets another 2 there. Sky puts Darby on the top rope. Darby elbows him off. Looks for a coffin drop. Scorpio Sky counters that with a power bomb. Gets a 2. So Scorpio Sky is like throwing everything he can at him pretty much. Scorpio Sky goes for a TKO. Darby counters that with an inside cradle to get the win. And afterwards, Darby gets the belt and kind of goes up to Scorpio Sky and kind of pats him on the shoulder a bit. Scorpio Sky then puts Darby in a heel hook. A bunch of refs come out. They can't break it up. Eventually, Scorpio Sky breaks the hold and just looks at his hands and then smiles.
Smiles.
And then leaves. But I like that. I like the bit where he didn't go after that leg at all during the match,
Mm-hmm.
and then he snapped, I guess, at the end, whatever, put him in the heel hook.
He's
I
like,
like that.
oh man, I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never been working limbs. Damn it! Now I know why people do that.
The secret to success.
This whole time, nobody told me to work a limb. Anyways, so yeah, then they announced the unsanctioned lights out match, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. What other matches?
The card next week's good. We get Eddie and Mox versus the Good Brothers. Cody versus Penta. Jurassic Express and Bear Country versus Matt Hardy, Private Party, Butcher and the Blade. Jade Cargill in action, and as we mentioned earlier, Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. Unsanctioned lights out match in the main event.
Is it going to be Jade Cargill versus Seth Gargis? Let's see how long
She's
he can
gonna
last.
she's gonna
It's
she's
a beat
gonna
the clock challenge.
exactly beat him quicker than Cody did.
Who would win in a match, Sam Beal or Seth Gargis?
Oh, wow. I feel like Seth Gargis is a bit thicker, a bit more muscular.
Yeah, sure, yeah. But that didn't help him against Cody.
Well, I mean, Cody's like, he's A tier in AEW, so
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, because Sam Beal didn't last very long against Trey Miguel.
he didn't last very long, and Trey Miguel is like not A tier, so I mean it'd be a pretty even match, I think.
I'd give the edge to Seth Gargis, I think.
I would give the edge to Sam Beal. I think he has more to say for himself. He actually got some words in on Trey, and that usually power ranks you a little bit.
Just
Anyways,
not in the ring so much, apparently.
So I already actually went through the Inner Circle War
we went through this
Council pretty
pretty-
much beat by beat. So
Yeah.
let's just
Yeah.
fast forward to questions, dude.
Sure.
All right.
Frenzy 5-4, continuing the gift sub they got from Rozzy Knight. Kaiser Willem with the sub, thank you.
Jorge D says, in honor of today's AEW audio, what random audio from any Warner Brothers property would be best over an AEW match? Some of like that, what's his name? Hans Zimmer? Zimmer? Or
Hans
just-
Zimmer. Hans Zimmer, yeah.
Like, he does the Nolan movies. Those are all Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Like
that's good.
Interstellar, the Batman flicks.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff would be like really dramatic.
That would be. Yeah, because Hans Zimmer was the one who was doing the stuff for a while, right?
Yeah, totally.
be good.
That's what I say. Now give me a goofy answer. What Warner Brothers
Some
property?
Looney Tunes, man.
Yeah, well, that's cool, man, because they got that Space Jam coming up.
No, I mean like old school. Only like, like the cartoons we used to watch growing up. Those Looney Tunes. Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season.
Perfect. Let's see here. Thomas Dunnigan. Was Kingston's promo the best reaction to a disappointing situation? Yeah, dude, because he like rooted it in reality. Like that's what you want. Talking about being in jail and going to where?
You go to Rikers?
Rikers? Yeah, Rikers.
Island. Yeah.
Is that
Or Sing
still
Sing.
a thing, Rikers? Yeah, Sing
think
Sing.
so.
Is that still a thing?
I think so.
I know the island out here isn't. That's been defunct. What was it?
Oh, Alcatraz?
Alcatraz. That's been
Yeah,
like,
it hasn't
defunct
been a
since
thing
like
for a
the
long
early
time.
70s, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while. Flat, so someone recently did a 48-hour stream, including sleep, and he was banned midway through, going back to conversation, the opening of the show.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, intention, I think, is everything, man. If I'm like, hey, dude, I'm sorry, I nodded off. It was an accident. I was trying to do a watch along. Zach Drawl, should Christian go for the title so soon? I mean, people claim that he should be a Hall of Famer, so why not, right?
Yeah, he should be a Hall of Famer. Mean Green 49 just called them the Outer Circle. The new Six Horsemen. Jeffrey Nguyen suggests the Horse Pack.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, hold on a second. You got FTR.
Yeah.
Just trying to think if there's like a spin. Fear the. I mean, the Horsemen showed up during Revelations, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Ricky Scurvy can probably rap me.
Well, and
something
that's
about
also
that, but-
that's also what Tully kept on saying. Fear the Revelation.
Yeah, right. But I mean, so that's like a direct. I don't know. They need a name.
Maybe they'll
Whatever it
call
is
it
they
Revelation then.
That'd be cool. Maybe a bit too biblical. Revelations.
Bottom class, MJF totally reached final boss kind of status. They all felt more threatening than ever. Yeah,
Yeah, it
a
was
little
great.
violence picked up too.
Wardlow was scary.
Yeah, man.
Wardlow was absolutely scary.
Dr. Burgerman and Kayfabe, are Wardlow and MJF friends, or does Wardlow just work for him? I believe it's the latter.
I think it's the latter, but I think at this point he must have gotten like a raise or something. Something's changed there. Something's changed.
Got a bonus. He got a pretty hefty bonus.
Yeah. Or a contract extension.
Rozzy Knight gifting a sub to GLP4X. So when that happened, the main event segment, what did I text you? There was 3 words I texted you.
69 me Don.
Save me. Dan Daniel says, so we've already determined that the Inner Circle versus MJF's new crew in Blood and Guts is a guaranteed lock, right? That's what I texted you.
Yeah.
Blood and Guts.
Well, you texted me 4 words, Blood and Guts time.
Oh, sorry.
And then earlier, these 4 words, Hager has some teal on. That's 5
true.
words.
That is 5 words.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Dog Authority figure. I'm feeling really optimistic about the AEW's women's division. Who should take the belt off Sheeta? It's Britt Baker.
Yeah, probably Britt.
She's going to kill it in that match. It's going to get her all, and she's going to win. It's going to get her all sorts of heat.
Bottom class, do you think this is to write Jericho off for a bit so he can go back and go be a rock star?
That is an interesting question. Maybe.
It's definitely a babyface. The babyface turn for the Inner Circle more than anything.
For sure, yeah. Oh, look at that. Medusa rated us. What's up, Medusa?
Hello, Medusa.
Legend. We got a legend alert here.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Raiders? Thank you for hanging out with us. We're doing our questions right now. So if you have any questions about AEW tonight, if you happen to watch it, drop us a question in the chat.
Jazzy John, is this a face turn for the Inner Circle? Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. JTV says, so I was watching News Beef on Monday, and Larson said he was very familiar with the paranormal and possessions. Would he care to elaborate?
Oh, my wife watches a lot of ghost shows.
The power of Christ compels you.
That's it.
You could totally be an exorcist guy, like a preacher guy from, what is it? A minister, pastor? What is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's just,
priest.
I guess, it's an
priest.
exorcist. Isn't it?
Priest.
Yeah, priest. Thank you. Why'd the
Yeah.
priest kill him, man? Yeah, you could be a priest. You could be an exorcist guy. Come in there. The power of Christ compels you.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good gimmick, wouldn't it? He think like a wrestler who thinks everybody is possessed. I see evil in you. Let me give you a razor's edge to take it out. Because it's like a cross. Wow, I'm coming up with a really good idea right now.
That is.
To write this down.
Dr. Lipkin, if they add one more member, they could be the Deadly Sinners. There'll be 7 of them.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, who's the 7th man, brother? It's Nick Aldis. Let's see here. People are talking a lot here on the Patreon about Ethan Page's music. Hey, do you like Page as a heel or a face? I feel like I've seen too much of him and his like vlog stuff, which I haven't seen like a ton of it.
Yeah.
He's got like a really likable face. I kind of want to see him as a good guy. I feel like if anybody is sort of dude next door, it's kind of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like funny older brother.
Given what they, like the North, here as I could tell, seemed like a babyface tag team, but I didn't watch a ton of Impact.
I think they were heels for a long time.
Yeah,
I think they were heels for a long time. But like whenever he like says heel stuff, it always feels like he's just saying it. But like when he's just himself, like he seems like the most charming dude.
Yeah.
When he's just being himself.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe he'll prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. Fatal Destiny with the sub. Thank you. Says, so I asked this in the YouTube community page, but wasn't a sub when y'all went live for Ask Steven Larson. So we'll ask this again, which may be pointless if you did answer it.
Already did that.
Mike's. There you go.
Let's see here. We already answered that. Cameron Bartolozzo. This will never happen, but if John Cena ever went to AEW, would his finisher be called the FU?
Sure.
I guess it sort of depends on if he wants to continue to, like, he might hesitate because of the Make-A-Wish stuff. Because I don't see him ever stopping doing that stuff.
Adam Beveridge with the sub. Thank you very much. Raid says, fear the revelation, as Tully kept saying for months. That's true. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a great question here. Luisa Reza. Do former Impact people who now work for AEW keep their old gimmicks should they return to Impact? Former Impact people who now, number one thing that Tony Khan seems to be big on is continuity. And I love that. So like Don mentioning it to Eddie tonight was great. Yeah, I think they should. Yeah. I think that if you're going to be in AEW and used to be an Impact, and then you go back to Impact. I mean, if there was a big change between Impact and AEW, and then you go back to Impact as an AEW roster member because they're doing a talent trade, I mean, maybe you can play with the idea. Maybe you can play with it.
Well, I think, by and large, when wrestlers go to Impact or AEW, again, for the most part, there's exceptions. They have developed their characters and their brand on their own. And so I don't think it's not a situation WWE where they feel like they have to create this character and therefore own the intellectual property of that character, So it seems more freely that they can do that. Combat Films Hunter, if we get Inner Circle versus this 4 Horsemen group, would it be in Blood and Guts? 100%.
This is a good point here. Dr. Lipkin says, Allie was murdered in Impact. How do they square that? I mean, you can make a reference to it, I mean, I think she was murdered in the context of like some supernatural stuff. Yeah. Like with Sue Young or something like that. So you can make a reference to that. I've been reborn or some shit like that.
Wow. Morpin Ravioli says, saw a pretty good Reddit post pointing back to when MJF and Spears used to gamble on Dynamite. That's right.
Yeah, and Tully was there, yeah.
There's a picture of them, Tully and Wardlow. That's long-term booking.
Yep. Makes sense. Hype Life Gaming. Do you think Tony Khan is going to buy Impact?
No, I don't think so.
I'm trying to think of a reason why he would.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to.
If they were suddenly for sale, if all of a sudden Anthem was like, hey, we want to divest ourselves of this, then probably it wouldn't shock me if he did. Because all WWE would do is like put it on Peacock. I wonder if is WWE even going to care about? Like WWE for a spell really wanted tapes, Yeah. I don't know if they're going to care about that now. I mean, maybe to do like collections because they sign wrestlers, maybe.
Who knows? Heel Long Heavy. Why is Christian doing the old Jericho no talking gimmick? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
So there hasn't been a moment when there's been a microphone in front of his face. But it is weird.
He's a good talker. He's a good talker.
I mean, that's the one thing he can do is talk.
Oh my gosh.
What? That's a compliment. I said he's a really good talker.
He is a good talker.
It's like the only thing he can do.
He's a good wrestler too.
I hate so wait, is there a difference? Somebody corrected me earlier. Wasn't the kill switch wasn't just the Unprettier?
I thought
kill switch something completely different? Says the big Christian stan over here.
I never said I was a huge Christian stan. I just think he's a Hall of Famer. Organ Grinder says, according to Twitter, somebody on Twitter, it was a Spurs and Mavericks game. It said it aired on NBA TV, which originates from the same Atlanta facilities as TNT. Audio mix-up.
Hype Life Gaming claims that the kill switch and the Unpretty are the same thing.
That's what I thought too.
All right. I hate the name. Here's the thing. At least I hate the move. It's ugly.
Yeah, I don't like the move either.
Although I did see on Impact, didn't Bay hit it on Ace Austin?
Yeah.
And it was a little bit different.
I liked how Leo Rush did it because he'd spin the person around several times before doing it.
Yes, yeah. I think people can do it. It's just I with Leo Rush and guys like in the X Division, like Chris Bay, they do it really quick and it's smooth. I hate the whole I can't stand that stuff. And so no, I've never liked when Christian's done it. But at least Killswitch is a really good name.
It is.
Unprettier is a terrible name.
Ha Jackson says Matt eating grapes is a reference to him being wasted and live vlogging on the road with WB years ago. He was fired for it.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
We got a raid request here.
Okay, well, we're not done with the show yet, but
I know.
We'll do that now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. I mean, we're pretty much answering all the questions. Thanks for watching, people. Next tomorrow on twitch.tv/Steven Larson at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, we'll be reviewing NXT. So be sure to check that out. Thanks everybody for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.